to accompany ourselves while singing Truly Madly Deeply by Savage Garden. Perfect for beginners, we'll focus on the original key of C major using only 4 easy chords, all white keys. Stick around for the second half where we'll explore transposing the song to fit your vocal range, so feel free to use the provided timestamps to jump to that section. Let's begin. Here's middle C for our reference. The song is in the original key of C major, so we don't have any sharps or flats. We'll begin the song's highly recognizable intro, starting with our left hand. Our first chord is C major, with C on the left. Next is G major, with G on the left. Next is F major, with F on the left. And then back to G major chord, with G. On the right hand, for our C major chord, we have G, C, and E played together. This is our second inversion. For G major chord, we have G, B, and D, which is the root position. For F major, we have F, A, and C, which is also the root position. Then we go back to G major. With hands together, we have C major, G major, F major, and back to G major. This chord progression is called the 1-5-4-5 progression because 1 corresponds to the first note of C major scale, which is C. 5 corresponds to the 5th note of our C major scale, which is G. 4 corresponds to the 4th note, which is F in our scale, and back to 5, which is G. This is our chord progression for the intro. We've already learned 70% of the song. This is because the first section also uses the same exact chord progression as the intro, except we play the chord progression twice. Here are the lyrics with the chord progression to illustrate the timing of the chords. After the verse, we have the pre-chorus section where we begin with A minor chord. We have A on the left and A, C, and E on the right, which is the root position. Then back to G major, F major, and G major. You'll notice this chord progression is the same as the intro, except instead of starting with C major, we start with A minor. This chord progression is called the 6-5-4-5 progression because 6 corresponds to the 6th note of the C major scale, which is A. Here are the lyrics for the pre-chorus section. For the chorus section, we already know the chord progression is the same one used for the intro and the verse sections. Here are the lyrics. Arrive at the bridge section. The chord progression is F major, G major, F major, G major, F major, and G major. This is called the 4-5-4-5-4-5 progression. Here are the lyrics along with the chord progression for the bridge. Enter the instrumental section of the song, where the piano still uses the same chord progression as the intro, verse, and chorus sections. After the instrumental, we have the verse section, where we'll play the main chord progression. Then we have the chorus section played twice, and then the outro, which we will also play the main chord progression. Now, let's explore how to transpose this song into a different key. This can be particularly helpful if the song's current key is too high for your vocal range. This song's highest note is C6. If your comfortable range doesn't reach that high, transposing the song down will be necessary. Let's illustrate with an example. Suppose the highest note that I can sing comfortably is A5. This note is 3 semitones lower than the highest note of the song. This means I would need to transpose the song from its original key, C major scale, down by 3 semitones, landing on A major. Here's the A major scale. Remember, our primary chord progression is 1, 5, 4, 5. Let's determine what these correspond to in A major. 1 is the first note of the A major scale, which is A, so our chord 1 is A major. 5 is the fifth note of the A major scale, which is E, so our chord 5 is E major. And 4 is the fourth note of the A major scale, which is D, so our chord 4 is D major. So the chord progression for the intro, verse, chorus, and outro in A major is A major, E major, D major, and E major. For the pre-chorus, our chord progression is 6, 5, 4, 5. 6 is the sixth note of the A major scale, which is F sharp, so our chord 6 is F sharp minor. Thus, the chord progression for the pre-chorus in A major is F sharp minor, E major, D major, and E major. Finally, the chord progression for the bridge is 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, which corresponds to D major, E major, D major, E major, D major, and E major. This method of transposing is incredibly useful and can be applied to other songs. Here are other piano tutorials of love songs you might want to check out. Happy practicing!